Over the course of 20 years, 37% of farmland in Mercer County has been lost. People think that farms are just land being used for crops, but farming is heritage and family, unknown. Princeton, New Jersey, apples. When I hear those words, I think of Terhune's, a 200-acre apple orchard, a place I and many other people call home. Lit up the world as I fell asleep. 200 years ago, Terhune's was born. Before the 1920s, most farms were general farms, meaning they had a little bit of everything. After the 1920s, it was the popular choice for farms to start specializing, only having one or two different crops. When Pam and Gary Mound bought the farm in 1975, Terhune's only had apples, peaches, and pears. In those 39 years, the farm has changed drastically, adding 36 other crops. Gary was born and raised a farmer. His family had their own apple orchard. Gary Mount is a kind family man with sturdy boots. After graduating from Princeton University, he traveled the world but never wanted to be anything but a farmer. There are 3 different sides of farming: business, science, and personal. 1. Business. Terhune sells directly to the customer. Most farms sell to supermarkets or have farm stands. It is very rare to have a farm that has a store directly on the land. I asked Gary why that is, and it is because if a farm sells to a grocery store, the farm gets less money. They needed the money, so they sold directly to the customer to get higher prices. Over time, the customers have changed as well. It used to be you got all your food from the supermarket. They provide lots of food for a low price. Nothing wrong with that, but nowadays people want to know where their food is coming from. It also means that they need to attract customers, which is also another reason that they have the variety of crops. The cherries, blueberries, and asparagus, crops usually not grown around here, are just to attract customers. There are other things like donuts. Gary had the idea. They were cheap and profitable. They came from a mix and add some water, apple cider, and voila. The first 2 years he was making them all himself. They just seemed to go together, apple cider and donuts. When Pam and Gary bought Terhune's, there were some animals, sheep that were sold for food. Now they find their home there. People love to come and see the animals: stray cats, sheep, goats, chickens, a bunny, a peacock, and Gary's pets, Double Trouble, Apple, and Peach. Aside from the donuts and animals, Terhune's invites tourists in with their many other attractions. And there are many festivals. To kick off the harvest season is Apple Day, and every weekend is Fall Family Fun Weekend. The spring is welcomed with a bunny chase and kite day. In the summer there is Blueberry Bash, Peach Day, and Fire Festival. To let people know that Terhune's is open in the winter, there is the wassailing of the apple trees. Part 3. Personal. Farming is not just a job to most farmers, it is a lifestyle. Within each farm there is heritage, love, and meaningfulness. I'm lucky, said Gary, because I wake up and I enjoy every day of it. Most people can't wait to retire, but I have already traveled the world. I don't ever want to retire. Family is a huge part of Terhune's. All of the events are for families, and the farm is owned by a family. After Gary and Pam grow too old to maintain the farm, they will pass it down to their daughters, Tenwin and Ruai, whom have found their lives on the farm just as their parents. Gary's plan for the future is to make it ready for his daughters. He wants to expand the land so they can do more with the farm, but farmland is scarce. He does know that his daughters are strong, independent thinkers and have their own ideas about the farm, and he is willing to step down and let them take charge. Gary has a personal connection with the farm, with apples. Apples are my love. I could never give them up. Pam and Gary met over farming. I am lucky to have her. She never seemed to have a sense of risk. We were taking out loans, and it was very possible that we would have failed. She never seemed bothered by that. I needed someone like that. Partners in life and business. They met in Princeton Day School, and I then asked Gary what his favorite part of farming is, and he answered planting apple trees. His eyes light up whenever he talked about them, how he planted 600 trees this year. But my favorite part is planting apple trees when my grandchildren are there, and I always make sure they are. Leave my door open just a crack.
the eyes as they say